And I'm doing grocery shopping today, so.
Oh, okay. I know, I'm just ignoring it. Oh, thank you. Sorry, I meant to go to the baker on the way home, but I came by taxi.
I was going to make lunch and then I decided.
Don't worry about it.
Too unwell.
Too much trouble.
Even though I'm feeling fine now, I don't really know how I am, but I am. We discovered this mineral water and we're just going through it by the bucket.
Lovely. I'll have to ring her. Answer it. Good morning. At Kelly's, why? David's got my key and he's taken my car. Maybe if you ring Dad and buzz in and get his key. I know. But I can't do anything about it right now. Bye. Okay.
I'm locked out again.
I just can't seem to get Margaret on. I know she's here, but...
Want me to help?
Please. So, here, cameraman. Margaret, if you can hear me, I'm just trying to get this so that we can hear you on the other end. As guests join, hide their audio and video from my broadcast. I've said no. Broadcast the large video that I can see to my audience and hide the other video feeds. Maybe yes. New guests in my large broadcast are muted when they join. No.
Yeah. Okay.
So why isn't it?
So
oh, hang on. It's saying turn camera on. Show or hide.
This but
There's nothing there. That's live. Viewer.
Can you hear us, Margaret?
Where's the chat box?
How about? Okay.
Enter.
Can I have a look? What's this do?
Sorry. That's inviting people.
And you've invited. Well, you see, I don't have your invite either.
But Margaret's got it.
Okay.
Because I spoke to her.
Okay.
And see, we've got a viewer there, so she's there. But we should be able to see her.
That might be calling me.
Okay.
It is. Hello, Margaret. Can you see us but can you hear us? Okay, so what we're trying to do is Bernadette wants to record the session so she can also see you. But we're having trouble. We're following the directions to be able to see you, but it's not allowing us. Oh, you don't, do you have a camera in your computer? She doesn't have a camera in her computer.
Oh, well, that's what's happening.
Okay.
But she should be able to still talk.
Do you have a microphone in your computer? Is it not working at the moment? So Margaret's microphone may not be working.
Okay.
Do you want us to call you and have you on loudspeaker? And if you want to talk, you can just use the phone, and I'll have the phone here near the computer so it will capture it. Okay. So do you want me to call you back?
I'll call her back.
Okay. No, she's just going to stay on the line.
Okay.
Okay.
What about your phone playing?
She called us.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Ready? Let's go. Thanks for calling. Bye.
Hi, Margaret. How are you? Is this on loudspeaker, Kelly?
Yes.
Okay. I might just turn the volume up.
Here, let me do that. Yep.
That's better. I sense a little bit of frustration with this whole finding a property thing.
Yeah, it's not frustration. It's just, I think perhaps I need to go. What I think I'd like to do is go back to this area where I originally started in.
Yeah.
When I started here, I always, hold on, let's pull out the door. It's going to be. Okay. Because originally when I started looking in this area, it was only my money, which wasn't much.
Yeah.
So, then I had a good think, and what has happened is that when I go back over the houses that I've looked at in Irwin and Pendleville,
Yeah.
4-bedroom houses are selling for one sold for $750K, that was an old house. One, a new house, sold for $840K. They were asking over $700K.
Yeah.
Another house up the road from us sold for $815. That was a new house with 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms as well.
Okay, so that was brand new?
About 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
The same as the other house that sold for $840,000.
Yeah.
That was not it wasn't like this year, but it was about 4 or 5 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
So houses that have got 4 or 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, it looks like double garage, they both have double garage, and in good condition are selling for approximately $800 or more.
Right.
Now, there are quite a few houses in this area where I live where the population is getting older. They're Australian people. There's either the mother or the father who hasn't died, or maybe the old couple.
Yeah.
And they're slowly moving out, selling their houses.
Right, right. Great.
Now, I walked around and about 3 or 4 in the block that I live in, which are very large blocks, and they're brick, and they're being well kept. And I think they could have the potential for a granny flat as well, because there's 3 of them on corners.
Yeah.
The potential for a granny flat plus to do up to sell at a big profit.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I thought I would do is just, first of all, I've written down all their addresses. I went for a walk. I'm going to look at the size of the land in council.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure in Irwin you can build a granny flat and do all that type of thing, so I'll double check that. And then I thought I could possibly do, then speak to you about what those houses would normally
Yeah.
And then come back to you and let you know that.
Excellent. Excellent. So you've worked yourself out yourself. That's great. Listen, there's just a couple of things I want to work through with you, which I think will give you more clarity. And the first one was the area and about going back to basics, and you've already done that beautifully. Now, those ones that may have investment potential, if you were to get one of those, then we would assess the investment potential. You might make more money just selling it on to a developer, but I would just keep all your options open, and because you could make a tidy little profit without doing anything. Okay, so that's the first thing. So I just wanted to talk to you about the property cycle. So at the moment, do you know about the property clock?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Real estate, very much.
Beautiful. So you understand that. So we're pretty high up where with buyer confidence. So prices are high, and the minute that there's a flicker in the interest rates or anything like that, it will start to cool a bit. So from a buying position, it's difficult because property prices are very high, but we need to be really careful not to pay too much, because once that little flicker happens, then you can get caught out. So we need to be quite cautious about it, which is why I'm suggesting you go to, firstly, that you really know your sale price really well. And unfortunately, when prices have a big jump, which they have done in lots of areas in Sydney, particularly around where you are, it takes a while for that to filter through to the higher level properties. Like, it starts really hot in the entry level, which is where we're buying into, and then it takes a while to filter through to what your selling price. So you just need to keep that in mind, and that's why we're being quite cautious about how we are, about our feasibility, making sure there's enough fat in there, and understanding the margin between the buy and the sell. Now, like, we always hope that we will sell for better than what someone else would, but you never ever make a decision based on the fact that you're going to be setting a record, because we're appealing to the broader population. Our sort of strategy is to appeal to a broad market. Okay, so if you're going for the if you're going for something that's going to be quite one-off, then that's a very small market. And like, some things happen. There are times when properties do exceptionally well for reasons that sometimes aren't obvious, but we don't count them. Statisticians don't count them in their calculations, and nor do we, until you've got to prove it. You've proven over and over again that your renos bring in better than the normal price. You need to stick with general rule of thumb, and that a property that breaks a record is called an outlier. I don't know whether you've ever read the book The Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Well, yeah, it's so it's sort of not the norm, and we want to make sure that this is sort of really safe for you. And once you've done a few, you'll build confidence. Then you can start pushing the envelope. But for now, we'll stay within the parameters. Is that okay with you? Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. Kelly said the same thing.
Oh, okay. So sorry if I'm repeating Kelly's.
No, that's all right.
Now, the next thing I want to say to you is, you just want something that's sort of roughly within the formula, because the 135%, I've based that on 8% interest rate. So interest rates are quite a lot lower at the moment, so you've got a bit of room to move, okay? And the other thing is, not so much in the market at the moment, but, in a normal market, there would be some discounting that goes on, so you wouldn't be assuming the buying price. At the moment, it's the other way around. Well, you would have noticed that too. Properties tend to go for more than what they're asking. So as far as the granny flat potential is concerned, I wouldn't be looking for a property with granny flat potential unless you're getting it dirt cheap. And, if you were letterbox dropping and you got one with granny flat potential, well, that's a different ballgame. You may not have even necessarily do the granny flat. It's hard to actually make money on a granny flat. Like, often you will recover what you spent and not more, but that's sort of like an investment strategy. But it may, if you found an old house, like a brick, fairly solid house to renovate and sell it with the granny flat potential, that's probably a better way to go, because people who buy have the option to do it. They've got the space to do it. So you're selling it with potential, which is definitely a plus. With buyer's agents, I think it's probably a little bit early to be thinking about buyer's agents, because you need to really understand your market before you're because you've got to be able to give them a brief, because they're not going to do the research like you will do. I was talking about Deb because she is very area specific, and she knows the St Mary's area really well. But if you're just going to go for a general buyer's agent, I don't think you're going to, at this point in time, I don't think there's a huge advantage. And yeah, so so the other thing, with that, what did you think of that property that, what's her name? Jo, what did you think of that property?
Look, I just had a quick look at it, because closer to that area that I mentioned to you, I got a report from the property investment group.
Yeah.
And they said Clayton was a really good area to renovate it. And then you said, you know what? If once they publish it, they've probably missed the mark anyway.
Yeah.
So there was that. Plus, it was just a bit further out.
Yeah.
And plus, at that stage, once I thought about this thing overnight and, was trying to sort out, I come to the conclusion that I might in fact go back to where I live and do the houses, because, the goalposts have changed. Originally, when I was researching and I was getting to all these open houses, it was just me. So,
Yeah.
And that's why. So the email came through from her just after I had thought about the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah.
And reassess with the knowledge that I have now what I thought might be something to do.
Well, you know what? That's really great. So you've worked that out yourself, because we really can't be hopping from here to there. You've got to work on the areas that you know, because it will save you a whole lot of grief. So that's really excellent. So I just wanted to give you some tips about how to find properties in the areas that you're looking for. Because we're not looking to do a major structural renovation, then you really want to look for houses that are at the right size for you to do a cosmetic reno and flip. So what the first thing to do is to do a letterbox drop in the areas where in the streets that you've identified as being good sort of family residential type streets, and the properties that you can see, from externally that you think might work. So Kelly's reworked the script, and I think she's done quite a good job of it, so that's great. So the next thing to do is to go to the agents in the area and give them your requirements. Tell them exactly what you want. Now, we can work with you on formulating that requirement list, and we'll do that in a minute if we've got time. Yes, we have. But the third thing is this, have you set up daily alerts on realestate.com and Domain? Okay. And so those... Do we
need to get in before they advertise?
Well, we do, but the other thing that we can do is if we find something that looks often like things like people try and sell properties themselves, or an out of area agent is selling a property. Find some anomalies in the listing, and if sometimes you can still pick up. In fact, I tried really hard to get one yesterday. This guy was selling it himself through one of those sites that sort of help you sell without an agent, and he had listed this house in like prime location, and he had really underestimated the value of it. And so if I had my problem was I was away when it happened. If I had have got in and spoken to him, I would have had an offer into him that day, and had it bought before anyone else could have even looked at it. But unfortunately, I lost a day because I was away, and by the time I got back, he'd had 80 inquiries. Okay.
Wow,
So what? And this is a strategy that we probably won't be able to get organised until I get back, because obviously we'll need to. It's obviously we're going to have to buy it without financial approval. So I'll need to be involved in that. But that's something, you know. So you just don't close off any opportunities for property. You've just got to really keep your ear to the ground. Now, I've got say 4 or 5 other sites that you can go in and keep an eye on and register for alerts. They're not so common, but you know, you just never know where something's going to turn up. And even keep your ear to the ground. You know, talk to people in your area, and you know, just say, I'm looking for a house. This is what I'm looking for. If you know anyone that's selling, love to talk. Save them the agent's fee. Like a lot of people like to save that hassle of actually going through the, you know, the whole presenting the house for sale. So, and it's not like we don't want to rip someone off, but we want to buy at a fair price. And if we can save them all that hassle, and so it sort of should be a win-win.
Actually, a report I can get, the distressed property report.
Oh, yeah.
Looking into getting one of those. They're not expensive. Getting one of those for 214 for this area here.
Okay. Well, yeah. Anything's worth a try. So the thing with, so you're not talking about bailiff sales, are you? You can. That's a whole new ball game. But anyhow, yeah. I would say look at everything until you and until we actually get a property that's a goer. So do you want to just quickly work through what the requirements are for? Oh, before we go on, I just want to tell you. Have you done research the council on what the granny flat requirements are? Because it's really good to know that. So generally, it needs the property needs to be over 600 square metres. Okay, and there's a minimum frontage. You'll need to look that up, but they're probably the 2 main things.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you can if you go on to just search one of the granny flat sites, they will tell you exactly what you what the.
Previously, I found a house at 18th of October, and I know that for that one, there was potential for granny flat, so I looked it up then, and they had to be 3 metres from the back fence. They had to be on a slab, it had to be waterproof.
Yeah.
I've got a gap of 900 mils, that had to be probably from the side.
The boundary. Did it? So yeah. Yeah, so you need to find out what the minimum lot size is, and this is for complying development application. You can actually apply for a granny flat through DA and get bigger than, because it's usually a maximum of 60 square metres. But yeah, you just want to stick with the complying development requirements if you can. So let's just step back to the agents. What you're going to request of them. So, so tell me what you think your requirements are in a property.
A brick house.
Yeah.
Currently 3 or 4 bedrooms, preferably 4 bedrooms.
Yeah.
That's probably the major bit.
Yeah.
And then I'll be able to determine, and depending on the size of the land, because a lot of properties here don't have the very nice landscaping.
Okay.
So there's that potential as
Yeah.
well. So I suppose my main thing is the size of the house, how many bedrooms.
Yeah.
And that it's brick.
So brick is ideal. I wouldn't limit it to brick.
Oh, okay.
So look at both.
For a lot of money, we'll go brick.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. So if that's what your market's looking for, I wouldn't limit it to that and just see what comes up. And so So are you paying more for brick at the buy-in level?
Let me just go through the properties I went through. That's brick. That one's brick. That's brick. That's brick. You know why? I think we are, because the other one, what's that one? That was that's not brick, but that's for a developer. That's on 683. The ones that aren't brick are so old. They're being bought by developers. Or,
Okay.
Even family developers that pull down to 22 now do. That's not brick. Huge block of land, but the guy told me he's going to put it down with the people next door. He owns next door as well. So
Okay.
that one went to 683. This one went to 786. That's brick. So the brick ones are going, and I believe they're staying as houses.
Okay.
The ones that are fibro that are being pulled down.
Okay. All right. So we're looking. Okay. So stick with brick. One thing, like you mentioned, that there's a couple around you, couple of houses around you that have that may have development. They're big blocks.
Yes.
So you could, if you could get one of those, you may be able to get an option on the other one. And if you can get two together, particularly if I can't believe that developers haven't gone to them if your street's all townhouses. But
at the front of my street is, but around the block, on the block,
yeah,
townhouses.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyhow, so that's sort of another option. It's not strictly renovating, but you need to be keep your mind open to what's possible.
Yeah.
Because the developers are going mad for land at the moment.
They are. I don't know, of course, whether the developers approach them or not. I don't know.
Well, yeah, don't worry about that, because you will. Often the developers do approach these people and they have absolutely no idea, and they treat them quite badly. And so, I think if you approach them like human beings, you're in a lot better position.
Yes.
Did you want to say something, Kelly? You're right. Okay. So, and I think probably a garage is important.
Yes.
If you can get that with the property. And you wanted it to be in reasonable condition, okay?
Yeah.
So ugly is really good.
Okay.
And is there anything else we need to add to that, Kelly? So you're clear on the position.
Not on a main road.
No, yeah. But she's going to pick. Oh yeah. Yeah.
How do I find out whether the house is the owner's or it's housing commission, or it's owned by someone else? Because there's a couple of houses, they're not well kept, and one is on a really nice sized block. It's on the corner, and I'm wondering. I don't think the owners would live in a house like that. So it's either housing commission or it's rented out. How would I find that out?
So you would knock on the door and ask them.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Kelly's got a bit to put into that.
I hope you can hear me, Margaret. But when you're door knocking, ask if the owners are at home. So we should have a different door knocking script. And if they say no, I just rent, just say, oh, I'd like to talk about the property or the fences, but don't tell them that you're hoping to buy. Particularly if a real estate agent is managing the property and you tell them you're interested in buying it, and then they introduce you to the owners, they are then eligible for a sales commission on the property because they introduced you to each other. So you want to try to get to the owners and their details without saying that you're wanting to buy the property. Just say that you want to talk about the property or the fences or the plans for the property, but not buy it.
How about we quickly do a script for that? Will we do that?
If we have time.
Yeah.
But maybe not. Maybe after you come back from Thailand.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay. So actions for the next week. Tell me what your actions are.
I'm going to go back onto the council website,
Mm-hmm.
double check the size of the houses that I have currently picked out by looking around.
Yeah.
I know about 2 or 3 definitely owned because I know the owners.
Okay.
But the other ones that I knock on their door and
Yeah.
ask them.
Yeah.
And I'll do that. So
Yeah.
I know what I'm looking for bedroom, brick house, garage or carport, preferably garage.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll do. I'll find some properties and
Great.
I'll find out what they would normally be selling for.
Yeah.
Then we can determine whether that's a price that we can buy them for and then do them up and sell them.
Yeah, excellent. And I'll also send you these other sites for you to add to your list of alerts.
Okay.
And the other thing is, if you can just get straight on the granny flat requirements.
Yes.
Just really a really simple way. I'm just thinking about when you knock on the door, just say to them, I'm interested in talking to the owner about the plans for their property, for this property, whether they have any plans for it. And that's all you have to say, because they'll say yes or no. I either am or I'm not. And yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. I can do that.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Margaret, you're doing amazingly. You're really putting yourself out there, and you will get there. I know. Look, I know the frustration. It is quite frustrating when you first get started. Well, you know, I'm frustrated, and you know, I haven't really been looking all that long, but yeah, unfortunately, it's fact of life. Now, the next time we'll be able to talk will be Thursday, the 5th of March.
Okay.
Will that work for you? Because I'm going away tomorrow and I won't be back until.
Yeah, works for me.
Okay. So.
I can always contact Kelly, can't I?
Yeah. Is it okay if Kelly sets up a time to talk on that day?
We'll just do it now. So 10
Okay.
a.m.
Does 10 a.m. work?
Just let me grab my diary. The 5th of March is Thursday, yes, 10 a.m. is good.
Perfect. Let's set that down for 10 a.m. on the 5th of March.
Great. All right. Well, thank you for that, girls.
You're very welcome. Now, I'm hoping to come back to lots of news.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
sounds good.
Okay.
All right,
Take
thank you so
care.
much.
Say hello to Ray for us.
We will.
Okay.
I will. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for that. Did that go okay?
Yeah, she's moved on in her own mind as well.
Yes, I think you've done the work.
March, I think. But it's good that she came up herself. I
Yeah.
was just opening space for you to talk.
Yeah.
But it's